Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP is now, as I record this, down to 31 cents. You've got the market cap for the entire crypto asset class breaking below 300 billion. We're now sitting at 283 billion. You've got Bitcoin at a mere 10,410. Oh my God, the sky is falling here. Well, while panic seems to be setting in for many, not with good old Moon Lambo here. I am Mr. XRP Bull. What I'm going to share with you today, everything today is going to be about price, for this particular video anyway. And there's a really cool video representation I want to share with you from somebody. I just found it on Twitter. Awesome, really quick 2-minute video this guy put together talking about Altseason. He makes the case for Altseason on the way. And I want to talk a little bit about that, maybe a lot about that, and also some about the negativity swirling around XRP and the price predictions. I made a video about it the other day, and I've got a couple additional thoughts on that as well that I want to share with you here. Now, before we get going, though, if you would please delicately tap the like button and go ahead and hit subscribe if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP. This is a very XRP-centric channel. Now, in a video yesterday, there were 3 analysts that I cited that made very negative price predictions for XRP. One was predicting 8 cents, one was predicting 16 cents, and yet another was predicting perhaps as low as 13 cents. And all within a span of several days, these predictions came out. One of them didn't provide an explanation, the one that was predicting 8 cents, so I just kind of threw that one out. Even though it was within the same time frame, so I felt like covering it. There was another one named, who was his name? Peter, I think the last name is Zacharias. So I talked about this guy, and he seemed to be saying a whole lot of negative stuff about XRP. So he seems like a fudster, is what I was thinking. So he's like anti-XRP, so it's not surprising that there could be some wacky low predictions just for XRP specifically. And then once I saw that, it wasn't surprising, and so I was just making the case that like when the FUD comes out like this, and you see that there are people that just hate on XRP, and then there's a band of them that are all just in the same time period making wacky predictions like this, it's time to call them out, right? And then the third one is Peter Brandt, and I had just started following him on Twitter. That's the guy I got on the screen here now. He's got a massive following, close to 300,000 followers. And so I don't have, to be honest, I don't have firm opinions on this guy one way or another. I just recently started following him. I cited some of his stuff in a couple recent videos because he's been in the news, and I cover XRP related news, and he's making predictions and stuff like that, so he made his way into my videos. How do I feel about him? Well, I haven't read enough from him to have an opinion, but I can tell you that I noticed a lot of people in the comments of my video from yesterday saying, hey, this Peter Brandt guy, he's an XRP fudster, or I think somebody may have called him a Bitcoin maximalist, and so that's what I read from comments in my video from yesterday. I want to be clear, I don't have a firm opinion on this. I like to see things for myself before I form an opinion, and it's okay to say in life, in general, I don't know. If you don't know, it's okay to not formulate an opinion before you see more facts. So I'm not going to speak firmly on that. I'm just telling you what has been shared with me, and it does raise a question for me, given that so many people came out to comment on that last video and say, hey, he's a Bitcoin maxi. So yes, I'm going to look, I'm going to look further into that. But regardless of whether or not I feel that he's an XRP fudster or not, he's all over the news. And what bothers me is that he put out this prediction where he says, and he did say, okay, Bitcoin breaks, whatever terminology you use, that XRP could go as low as 16 cents. Okay, well, here's the thing. Here's the trouble that I was having with this, and I want to make it very clear. I don't know if I articulated it to the degree that I find satisfactory yesterday. The problem that I'm having with this is he specifically is pointing out XRP. There are over 2,000 coins. And he selectively chose to, they'll talk about Bitcoin. The only other coin that I'm seeing him really talk about here, by and large, if you just scroll through his feed, it's XRP. Why? Why is it XRP? Why? Because look, the reason that this is a problem for me, and again, not firm opinions on the guy who he is and his beliefs. I'm not going to get too into that. I'm just talking about what I'm actually seeing him cover. We know that cryptocurrencies, they move in tandem price-wise, right? So if Bitcoin does go down, and that was his theory, if Bitcoin goes down, XRP goes down, and he made what would sound like on the surface a rather extreme prediction. You're talking about XRP going down perhaps as low as 16 cents. at that point, that was less than half of the value as of yesterday in terms of market cap. So that's a pretty extreme. So then the question is, why just XRP, given that really the whole market should go down? Why aren't you just saying the whole market would go down? That's what's raising a red flag for me. That makes me question. And so I would be willing to hear a legitimate answer from him. I'm just posing my concern, saying, hey, there's so many coins out there. Why are you just talking about Bitcoin? Why are you just talking about what it would do to XRP? That doesn't seem particularly fair to me on the surface. But again, like I said, I'm not going to form a hard opinion on that, because the way I operate in life is without hearing the alternative side, I choose to not form opinions. I'd rather I'm just posing a question. And that is all it is at this point. That's just how I operate in life in general, with this and every other aspect of my life. That's how I choose to go at things. I don't like it when people form opinions, especially if they're strong opinions, before they have enough facts to reasonably do so. So beyond that, let's talk about this, because I do want to get into XRP price and where is everything going to bottom out. I want to talk to you a bit about that. Where are we actually heading here? So I came across this video from this guy on Twitter. He goes by @PattyStash. And here's what he writes about himself. He's a stock and options trader / investor turned cryptocurrency enthusiast. Okay. And so I listened to this, and I hadn't seen this exact chart anywhere, but it was cool. So if you look on the screen, I'm not playing the audio of it, but you can see what he's got here. So this is altcoin dominance chart, basically, is what I believe that was anyway. And so the point that he was making is, and you can see kind of highlighted some stuff. It looks like his own original work here. The dominance, it seems to gyrate, if you will, and this is over a span of almost 6 years. Almost 6 years. There's this band here, you can see, and as he pans the camera, we'll be able to see it further, but he's talking about how it'll hit the bottom of this band, and then it'll hit the top in terms of dominance, and then at the bottom, and then it'll just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth here. And he's saying that where we are right now, and that's what's on the screen right now where I'm circling here, we're at the bottom. And so that's where you're seeing today Bitcoin dominance. It's currently at about 65%, which means altcoins are only at about 35%. And so his point is, looking at 6 years of history, if history repeats itself, then you're looking at an imminent altcoin run here. That's basically what you be looking at. And then he flips to this, and he's talking about Bitcoin dominance, how if Bitcoin dominance is 65, and then you have an altcoin run, you're in terms of Bitcoin dominance, it's going to be inverted. And that's the case that he was making, which of course we did see during the last run. During the last alt season, you certainly did see that. You've seen it every time, though, as he's illustrating here. So that part is actually true. So there's a couple things I want to talk about on that front, because this is just an analysis historically. What has happened? Will it repeat? Is it reasonable to believe that it will repeat? So there's a couple ways that we should look at this. We need to look at it, since we're probably all XRP people. If you're listening to this channel, you probably need to think, okay, what's that potentially going to mean for XRP? And is history likely to repeat? So those are the two questions I want to answer. What's it mean for XRP? Is history likely to repeat? In Peter Brandt's mind, and he's spoken about this recently, he said, he didn't say something firm on this, but I remember him saying something along the lines of, just be careful, because he in his mind, he's not confident that you're going to see the same type of altcoin run like you did see back in especially late 2017 after Bitcoin hit its all-time high of almost $20,000 per coin. And here's my thoughts on that. So what led the last major bull run, when you did see those all-time highs and the market cap got up to not quite $1 trillion, it was like 800 and something billion. What led that? It was entirely retail speculators. And here's the fascinating thing: after that bull, the bear market in 2018, all the smartest guys in the room, the wizards of smart, if you will, they believed that the retail had its crazy run up, and that was going to be the end of altcoins. After that, you're going to hit the bear market, and then once it hits the bottom, those altcoins are gone forever, or almost all of them. So that's the general theory that people had. I was never quite sold on that, and I still am not. And if you look fast forward today, and now I've got a little bit of hindsight to take advantage of here, but if you scroll through this, all these coins are still here. And yes, you can argue that their price is greatly suppressed comparative to all of their all-time highs in late 2017 and early 2018, before everything really started to crash. And so the question is, are these going to go away? Well, here's the way that I'm looking at things. In terms of investment, you've got a couple different types of investors. You've got retail speculators, which is what almost entirely ran to the run-up in late 2017, early 2018, in terms of market cap, almost hitting $1 trillion on a global scale. And then you've got institutional investors. And I do anticipate, this is my theory, and I'm happy to share it with you, I think that institutional investors are going to behave differently than your traditional retail speculators. I think that, by and large, the institutional investors are going to take a much more nuanced approach to investing. I think they're going to be much more particular. Imagine a public pension fund, and they're actually putting their money into cryptocurrencies. Do you think they're willy-nilly just going to pick all these coins out of the 2000? I don't think so. I think that's what retail speculators are doing. I think retail speculators are buying and selling based on emotion. So here's my points. I don't have reason currently, given that all these coins are still here, none of them are being delisted from exchanges, almost none of them. We haven't seen that, because that's what it would take to really kill them, mind you. It's not that they completely go away and the blockchain stop existing. Some people might hold on forever, but a death of a coin, it's more like, are they being delisted from cryptocurrency exchanges en masse? Are they? And we're not seeing that. We're not seeing, so right now, there's no evidence for me to start saying, yeah, I think that these are not going to rise next time there's an alt season, or I'm not going to say that I don't think there will be an alt season. I don't think that there's evidence to support that right now. In particular, if we're to believe that retail speculators are going to be the cause for market cap to increase, just regarding the entire asset class, if you're looking at that, I think if retail speculators are going to run that up, I don't see a reason that it would behave at this point too terribly differently than it did in 2017. But here's the caveat for me. If we start seeing massive amounts of money flowing in, if this is what really ends up happening and that's what causes the next bull run, if it's institutional money coming in, I think they're going to take a much more careful approach, and I think only those coins with genuine potential will genuinely be adopted in terms of speculation, and those are the ones that will have long life for decades and decades and decades. So if that happens, that's my caveat there, you could see a bunch of these coins not get traction, you could see volume slip on exchanges as confidence wanes, and you could see them ultimately be delisted as a result. So here's what I'm doing, and again, none of this is financial advice. I do not have a financial background. I just follow this. I spend probably way too much time on this compared to the average person, I'm sure. I'm just genuinely that interested, but I'm regular Joe Schmo here, and I'm happy to share my opinion. I just enjoy talking about this subject. So don't buy or sell anything because of me, though. Please don't. But the way that I'm looking at it, so the way that I'm choosing to invest is I keep putting my money, and right now all I'm buying is XRP. I keep putting more and more of my money in XRP, what I'm comfortable losing just in case I'm wrong, and I don't think I'm wrong, but just in case. I continue to do that, but it's not based on emotion, and it's not based on ideology. My whole theory behind all of this is that utility will win the day, and the price gyrations prior to that concept taking hold on a large scale don't matter to me. That's why I'm happy to keep throwing my money into XRP, even at right now as it sits at 31 cents. And today's not a day where I'm buying because I'm on a set schedule, but I'm hoping that maybe it'll, for me personally buying, because I don't care about this and I am Mr. XRP bull. I don't care if it slips into the 20s. Maybe XRP will end up short term in the upper 20s, or God forbid it hits 25 cents again. Well, I'm going to buy it up. Maybe I'd even break my rule and buy more. I don't know, because I do try to just buy the set schedule there. But the only way that I see the crypto, like XRP, if it were to actually go as low as those predictions that I cited in yesterday's video, the only way I see that happening is if Bitcoin has a massive crash. Even if that does happen, I am still nothing but bullish on the crypto asset class, and since everything's tethered together, and given that I am I'm bullish on the asset class, its longevity, I think it will be here for decades and decades and decades, I don't care. That will not cause me to panic. I will not panic sell. I absolutely will not. I'm just not going to do that. I feel so strongly on this that if I'm wrong, I'm going down with the ship. I absolutely am. I don't think for a moment I am. This is just my opinion. I think I'm absolutely right. I think utility will win the day. And so where's XRP going to bottom out? Well, it depends. If you think that Bitcoin, let me show you this piece here. I'm not going to read this, but here's a piece from AMBcrypto.com. It's titled "Peter Brandt Bets on Parabolic Rise of Bitcoin." Okay, so he just put out some FUD a couple days ago. What it appears like that anyway, about XRP potentially going to 16 cents, and now here we've got this article from AMB Crypto. Same guy, he's betting on a parabolic rise of Bitcoin. Well, if that happens, what's going to happen to XRP? Of course, XRP isn't going to crash to that. He acknowledged as much. So why bother putting that out about XRP? Why even bother doing that? There's so many coins. That's the one that you want to cite the effect that it would have. That's just silliness to me, and that makes me question what's going on there. And that's all I'm saying is I am questioning that. I'd be curious to see a response from that. But again, of course, just to be clear, also nothing against personally against Peter Brandt. I like to say stuff like that in case you wonder. Like, I don't get emotionally charged on this. I would love to hear from him what his actual position is in response to what I said. I'd just be curious to that. Now, I'm such a small guy, I don't know. I doubt he's ever even going to hear any of this, but that's what my question would be doing, basically. It's like, why are you commenting on just Bitcoin and XRP? Like, what's the point to that? And I'd love some more specifics behind it, because I didn't feel like there, just in the tweet, I know Twitter's like a short format way to communicate, but there wasn't a ton of detail like fleshing out his concept of why he believed what he believed. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. So anyway, yeah, so here's again, that's what I see to just kind of sum this up. I don't see, there's no, in my mind, no reason to panic whatsoever. There's just been a lot of people throwing, in my mind, largely most of the predictions I've seen to the downside, to me, they just seem kind of bogus, and it's hard to take seriously. I just cover it because it's in the news, and also because I just don't want people to be afraid unless they really believe that's going to happen, because it's not buying and selling advice, of course. But yeah, so there's that, and then as far as price, if Bitcoin is going to continue to go up, XRP is not going to go down to 16 cents. I don't see it. There's no way. There's no world out there where I see it going down to 8 cents or 16 cents or 13 cents or any of that. Bunch of hoo-ha. And again, to Peter's credit, he did say in that one where he predicted potentially down to 16 cents, he did say that that's if Bitcoin goes down. And I'm paraphrasing there, but that's the concept that he was getting across. So that is true, but now he doesn't believe that Bitcoin's going down, right? If this article's correct, right? So I don't think that any of that's happening. So we're probably not far from the bottom. And if Patty Stash is correct, and charts don't lie, I hope, right? Then that means we may be on the cusp of an altcoin season. And I can't remember who said it, but there was a big name that also said that it's about time for altcoins to rally. And I can't remember if it was either Arthur Hayes. I don't think it was. Maybe was it CZ of Binance? I can't remember now. I don't know. I feel like somebody was talking about this very recently, and so Patty Stash here is not the first person to say, "Hey, it's about time for an altcoin season." And I guess basically because right now I think it is retailers that are driving the market right now. Actually, after looking into things sufficiently, I feel confident that that's what's likely. And as a result, I don't think that we're in imminent danger of the vast majority of these altcoins just going the way of the dodo. I want to see them getting delisted, and that's when I'll be like, "Hey, time's up, guys." So, but anyway, that's all I got for you on this particular video. Thank you so much for watching. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea.